I'd like to call upon Sally's subconscious, please.
We are here.
Thank you very much. Subconscious, we're grateful for you to be here, as we know this is a very significant session, and we appreciate all of the support and information you are able to provide for us.
Yes, we're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is it the Arcturian Collective as well supporting you in here with this?
Yes, very much.
Okay, thank you. Are we able to know how the other collectives view the Arcturians?
They're very grateful for all their help in the work that they do. However, some feel like they're in their way of what their plans were and still are with humanity and controlling. We see the reptilian collective. Not all are bad, of course, but we see a certain amount are quite annoyed with the Arcturians and their role to help humanity.
Could you say subconscious that it's just the reptilian collective?
Draco?
Okay, thank you. So the usual suspects that would be displeased with the agenda of helping humanity at this time?
Yes, they're losing control and they do not appreciate that.
Okay, well, I'd like to be able to say I'm sorry about that, but things have to be released, and we all know why. So thank you so much. Okay, well, subconscious, you know that we have been given a lot of guidance for this session. We would like to know what is the information you would like us to hear today about this satellite.
The collectives are all in agreement that this event is still needing to take place. And it is to help humanity wake up. Even more so, there are many that we have tried to reach for quite a long time, individuals, and they're just so dense, so distracted. Their teams, they're trying to reach them, but this needs to occur. There'd be many lessons learned, and we love you all. But this needs to happen.
Yes, thank you. We understand it's not a personal thing. It is something that needs to awaken those who are still struggling. Could you say, subconscious, that for many, they will not be able to really step up until they have to experience the laser event?
Yes, that's why it must it must occur. Nothing would wake them from their daydream. It's like they're just in life, but they're just in a weird, like, stupor daydream of 3D, of nothing, of just superficial things. Can't snap them out of it. Can't shake them enough, and they have to. We want them to complete their life contracts. They want to complete their life contracts. We don't want them to be disappointed. They'd be so disappointed if they didn't do what they're supposed to do. We're wanting to help. This will help.
Okay. So yes, there's many things that go into that. So we would like to understand for those people who are distracting themselves from their inner work. They seem to be very aware they have inner work, but then they go into victim mode when they don't want to empower themselves through their inner work. How can we understand those who know that they have inner work but refuse to do the inner work? What's really going on for them there?
They're so scared to feel the pain. There's pain, and it's hard when you feel like, for example, it's if you have been greatly humiliated in life, and stuff it down because you feel like you hate yourself because you were humiliated, or because you were disliked or teased, or bullied, or made to feel ostracized from others, gossiped about. We see so many things, and it's so hurtful. It's coming from a place of pain, and I want to pretend like I don't need to deal with it or relive it again, because they think that if they just don't even think about it, it's really not even there. And that was so long ago, and that hurt really bad, but I'm over it now. But yet it comes up in triggers where they panic because it reminds them of how they felt when that situation happened. And it makes them want to cry, and they stuff it down again, or they get angry. It just comes out in different ways, and they're afraid. They're afraid to feel the full emotion of it. But that's the only way you're going to release it. And we've all been treated not nice. We know what pain feels like. We know what humiliation feels like. All of us do.
Absolutely.
It's like they're embarrassed. It's like they're embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed.
Yes, we've all had to come through it. Have they not noticed how they do feel better once they start actually doing some of their inner work? Because that should empower them and motivate them to do all.
Yes, it does help. It frees you. It frees you, and you feel like you can allow more positive emotions and more love, and it raises your vibration. That's how you raise your vibration. You gotta let go of it. It's just muck. It's unnecessary muck. And we want you to be clear.
Yeah. What about for those people who feel that they want to go into victim mode because their inner work's too hard, or that they have it and they don't want to actually acknowledge it? So then they feel sorry for themselves and blame others for their inner work. Is being in victim mode, are they getting something out of being in victim mode?
Hmm. We don't know about getting something out of it because they're like screaming for help. Um, it's like a cry for help. It's but they don't know how to help themselves, and um,
Is that why they blame others? Because they don't realize that they're the only ones who can help themselves.
yeah, there's we feel like a lot of that has to do with some childhood wound, um, something they felt powerless as a child, and nobody. It's like almost like they felt powerless or abandoned or neglected as a child, as a young person, and um, it scared. They were afraid, and it was like they're like don't want to feel that way again, so they're like crying for help and uh, feel like everyone else's. It's everyone else's fault that I feel this way. That's how they're feeling. And I think it's because as a young person, if they felt abandoned or like not loved because their parents didn't provide it at very difficult situations, almost like they, how do we say? It's like they, their parents, and they're like, you were supposed to be there for me and you weren't. And it's almost like it kind of creates this additional thought pattern
Mhm.
behavior.
Okay, well, that makes sense, because when people are complaining that they have inner work and then blame others and go into that victim mode, they are very childlike with their behavior and actions, because I guess they are still reverting and reacting back at that point where they had the original trauma.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Children feel extremely powerless. It's quite scary for them, especially if it's very, it almost feels like it could be life or death sometimes for a child because everything is just so much more intense at that age.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, are we able to ask all the collectives who have beings that they are guides to and supporting to be able to release things from their childhood that are really hindering them to be mature in their spiritual growth? They can heal what's happened in the past and release what's happened in the past. And actually, for them to realize by them acknowledging themselves and empowering themselves with their own inner work, that will heal them profoundly. And they can be the adult to their inner child and support them and nurture themselves through their inner work.
Yes. Sending out the signal, reaching them all. Yes. They appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I think humanity will appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
To have many people who are of service. So that is very grateful for that. Thank you. And
The collectives are all clapping.
oh, well, fantastic. Because we were sort of wondering, would that then make these people who are avoiding their inner work, are they now going to be given more opportunities to be fully triggered to then be overcome and really have to face that their inner work? Is this what's going to happen to them?
Yes. Um, but their teams are so happy for them. They're You see them like patting them on their back and encouraging them and saying, "We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you." Like they just are going to complete like a huge a huge lesson, a huge undertaking that is just waiting to be done. It's like finishing a grade level, graduating, finishing a marathon. They're just so like, yes, yes, we are so proud of you. And they're just like patting them on the back and giving them high fives. And yeah, they're extremely happy. And they,
Fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
We have heard many times that a lot of our trauma can be caused in our childhood. This is nothing new that has been said in sessions. And we have even done healing for the inner child in many channelings. It seems interesting that they have overlooked those, but hopefully they will be guided to them or be able to overcome this triggering for them to face their inner work. Because as you say, collectives, this is their life contracts to overcome this. This is their life destiny to help humanity. And they are holding themselves back in this whole process because of their choices to not empower themselves. So thank you for all collectives for helping us with this, because this is the time to release all that no longer serves us. And out of curiosity, subconscious and the collectives, when people choose to do their inner work, actually, how long does it take in our time concept to actually overcome an issue or a big sticking point? What's the time frame that it actually takes people to overcome their inner work?
Mm. Hmm. Um, hmm. We're feeling like it could be interesting. Very quick with certain people, depending on how much trauma. So, weeks is usually an average. Weeks to 1 to 2 months. Weeks to 1 to 2 months. 3 to 2 months. 3 weeks to 2 months. But some people, if they're, yeah, we see like 3 weeks to maybe 2 months. If it's trauma, nothing. If it's more trauma, it's gonna take, yeah, about 3 weeks to 2 months. But they're trying to release it, like they're doing their work.
Is once they release the emotions attached to the event, and then they can start empowering themselves and making new choices to not repeat the mindset and the patterns of them being victim or vulnerable or unworthy or self-doubt. Once they make those active choices, it's just getting them into that routine to empower themselves and make it consistent. Is that that's why the time?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a little bit of a process because they have to acknowledge the pain, and that can take, a little bit of time. They also have, yeah, so like they're integrating it into their life. So if, for example, something that would trigger them a week ago happens, they might be triggered again, of course, but then they stop and think as they're being triggered. You're like, wait, I don't want this feeling. And they might be triggered and they might go ahead and do the triggering behavior, but then afterward they'll be like, oh gosh, why did I do that? I'm not going to do that again. Ugh, if that happens again, I'm going to stop myself before. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to count to 3. So it's like they're like working it out.
And would it be fair to say that the subconscious provides the same trigger a few times just to get that um, the movement of releasing it faster and those lessons to see actually where the sticking points were and how to overcome it quicker? Is that how it
hmm
works?
That's said so beautifully. That is so correct. Because you won't know where you're at unless you get the triggers. You have to be able to go through the triggers to realize, wow, I'm not being triggered as much now. And then a few weeks later, wow, doesn't even bother me anymore.
So that's just so people don't accidentally Forrest Gump themselves out of a big trigger and have it as once you've done it, you never get it again. It is a repetitive cycle that you are still learning how to fully master. And so you have to have the same meal a few times to easily know how to digest it quickly.
Yeah. And also how to look at it differently because it takes like a few times for you to really, it's almost like zoom out of it. So it's like the emotion is gone. Now you're observing. And then you're also asking yourself questions like, what was it really that was bothering me about that trigger? And then you analyze and go back and ponder, look at yourself again. Is there anything else I need to remove? What else is there? Trigger happens again. Okay, wow, I did much better. And like you start feeling really good because you're like, wow, I'm releasing. And it's how it works. It's like a barometer. It's like it gives you an idea of where you're at with the release. And it's how you figure out what else you need to um, release. And it shows you like, because people are extremely proud. Like when the triggers happen and they're like, this it doesn't even phase me. Oh my gosh, it would have been so different, like, a month ago. They're so proud of themselves because they see the work, they
Mm.
see the results.
Well, we have heard many times in sessions that triggers are great opportunities for growth, and yet so many people complain about being triggered. It sort of seems to be they sort of have forgotten
Mm,
that it is great opportunities for growth, um,
yeah,
and it's all empowerment and expansion.
yeah,
But I guess they're still holding on to that victim mode.
yeah. There's some pain there. Yeah, and yeah, it can be released, it can be let go. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed about the pain. Look
Mm.
at it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the whole purpose of the 3D planets and the emotions, isn't it? Is to experience all of it and not play around with the density.
Yeah. Yeah. But then people always think like, mm, it's like people judge themselves so harshly here. It's they judge themselves a lot. And so they think it'd be embarrassing to like relive something that felt like they weren't good enough or something. Things like that, like can really just like people try to push that away,
Mm.
you know.
And that was one of Sally's questions. Why is there so many people with self-hatred? And what's really going on there?
Mm. Um, there's a lot of there's a need of acceptance in this 3D world because um, it feels so separate. We're not separate, of course, but the way the society and people interact here, it's like everyone is trying to just connect. Like we want that connection, we want that love because we're used to that. Um, and then when you're here and it's not like that, it's like you're wanting it so bad. And then when people reject you, or you feel rejected, or you feel like pushed away from people or groups or friends, it causes so much. It's, we just we just feel like, oh, people are crying inside, and it's very triggering, and it hurts. It hurts us so bad when people feel like they're not a part of someone or something, or like almost like they don't feel wanted, and then they start thinking there's something wrong with them, and they start thinking bad about themselves, because others are projecting their own insecurities. Like it's almost like a weird pattern. It's like the person is like purposely trying to make that person feel left out, because the person who is wanting to, we'll just say the word, make the other person feel bad, they themselves feel um, also, in a sense, separate from others. So it's kind of like projection happening, and it's happening. It's a common thing, unfortunately, in this
Mm.
3D world.
I've seen it with many of my friends who grow spiritually, and they are super high vibrational, and they blossom. And many of their other friends feel really threatened and jealous, and react and feel very sort of hurtful and hateful for their friends doing their own inner work. And then they seem to lash out and blame their high vibrational friend for leaving them behind. Um,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
it kind of it always is interesting when that happens. It's a shame because they're completely oblivious to their own responsibilities.
Yeah, that's so what we were seeing earlier with the person purposely trying to push the other person away. That is more of a negative projection. With what you're describing, it's a different situation, because the person has raised their vibration so high that it feels almost like that friend can't really resonate with them anymore, and there's a disconnect. And it's actually causing the person who has not raised their vibration to sense their density more.
They sense their own density more.
Yes. It's like with someone with a higher vibration and someone with a lower vibration, when they're around someone with a higher vibration, it's almost like the person with the higher vibration is giving them a mirror, for them to look at themselves, and to it's like a barometer. It's like, I know I'm not as high vibrational, and I know I'm lower density, and I feel like I'm being forced to look at it, and it's really upsetting me. It's kind of like that. It's like they're feeling like upset, like threatened, yeah, like threatened, like it's showing,
Mm,
and they start to get really uncomfortable with that, because it feels like it is showing
mm.
on them. Um,
Would that project anger from them and jealousy and say self-hatred? Is that those feelings that they would get?
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it can.
Oh, that is sad. Okay. Well, okay, thank you for letting us understand that. That is really interesting. Thank you. Is
Hmm.
there anything more you would like us to know about those people who are still struggling to honor their inner work?
It's like if they just want to send them all love right now.
Could they perceive that their inner work is a blessing and a privilege for them to master, and that they wanted to master this? This is what they've given themselves, this is what they've created, and therefore it's their own personal task.
Um, it would be very helpful to think that way. Yes. Um, when people are in pain, sometimes they have a hard time seeing past it. and realizing the higher purpose. Um, it's almost like they need like a little epiphany. We want to say like a little light bulb moment to help with that higher perspective thought, because once they get that higher perspective thought, then of course they would go straight into their inner work. It wouldn't be even it wouldn't even be a hesitation. They'd be like, wow.
I'd like to call upon all the collectives, please, because we're asking for a big ask. It's not quite Christmas, but this will be something I would love to happen for humanity. Before even today would be fantastic, or even in the past. I'm not fussy with time, but I would love all to have an epiphany, to be excited and inspired, encouraged to be able to do their inner work and not focus on the pain. They can release the pain now because it is blocking them. Now they can master the range of emotions that they have to play with. Don't indulge in the densities, but enjoy the lighter emotions and see things from the bigger perspective, the significance and the lessons, and empower themselves through that, rather than feeling stuck in the mud, overwhelmed, and only able to sense the density and the, I don't want to say pity party, but it feels like that they are indulging themselves in that a little bit too much.
You have so much compassion for them. They're very happy. The collectives are very happy. They're liking this. This is good.
And if I had an agenda to be just mean and judgmental, would the collectives indulge me in this, or is this actually helping humanity at this time?
We are helping. We are helping humanity, and they're just like, yes, finally, let's do this.
Okay, well, I'm glad to be able to help. And we feel like we were supposed to ask if there was anything else we could help with those people stuck or holding on to pain that doesn't serve them. I feel like we've asked in different ways, and I'm asking again today for all the collectives to support us. The last session we had through this vehicle, Sally, we were hearing from the collectives, asking all to help them be released from the distractions of the political and influences that are not selling them the best perspective. Now, we had a feedback from that, from certain collectives asking for extra help, which then turned into a private session where we did call on many conscious minds of influences. We would like to know, what impact did that, what were the results from that session?
You're seeing a man. We are not naming names. We are not going to do that. We're just going to just say man or woman.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to give Sally the face of it though, so we can discuss it if we need to further to know how to manage?
Yes,
Thank you
she's
so
seeing
much.
it.
Thank you.
A particular man. He's crying. He's had a epiphany, and he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this. I'm going to tell the truth. All of it. It's like he's decided.
I'm so glad. And so how did he experience that that conscious mind conversation?
So it's been heavy on him. He's felt burdened by this. He knows he's very sensitive and has a big heart. And he just felt like he was like kind of like pushed into this corner where he had to like agree with everybody around him. He didn't really like it, and he knew it was wrong. It was against how he really felt, and we feel like it was getting to him. And after the session, we feel like he went to bed and he woke up with like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is bullshit. I'm going to speak my truth. I don't give a F.
Well, I'm so happy and I'm so proud. And so moving forward, what will we notice from him?
Feels like he goes inward for a little while, pondering, doesn't really want to go on and talk publicly. We're wondering how long. It's undecided right now. He's thinking, but he doesn't want to do what he was doing before. He wants to be more truthful. We feel like he's going to want to break away from everyone around him and go into isolation for a little bit.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is such a big influencer, will he still be able to help his followers who have been drawn to him for many purposeful reasons?
We almost get a sense like he wants to talk more about how to be happy and raise your vibration.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Like he might start with that first.
I love it. I'm so happy. Okay, thank you. And so is there anyone else that you would like us to know how they responded to that conscious mind conversation with them?
We're looking among, trying to see if anyone pops out in her head. Oh, okay. Yeah. Another man. He is also very kind, like kind-hearted. Didn't really, he didn't think he was really leading people completely astray because he wanted to just share all information. And he's just so nice and like wants everyone to have a voice. And it's like little things are going to start affecting him where it's like, okay, we've been discussing these things for how long and nothing has happened and nothing has changed. And I feel, this is what he's saying, I feel like I'm just not getting any updated information. Like this is all old stuff and this is starting to feel weird. And it's like he's going to start questioning it and asking, why is this feeling odd? Like it doesn't feel right anymore. And we feel like he's going to seek higher information for himself. Actually, he's going to research it and start wanting to have people interview him, or he interviews them on his channel that are higher perspective. It's like we're going to help him find the right people. They're going to help him. His team is going to help him because he's ready for it. He's a very nice person. Just let us try.
That is fantastic. And anyone else?
Another man. He's going to have a hard time. It's like he's going to have a almost like a little bit of a, okay, so we are going to provide an epiphany, and it's going to blow, it's gonna, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle with it because everything he's known has been so physical, so 3D, and he does believe in God. He does believe in higher powers, but he's never focused much on it. Like he believes in it. He knows it's true. He has faith, and he's gonna have this epiphany where he's gonna feel like this is all just crap. This house, this car, this money, this fame, it's all crap. What am I doing here? What is my purpose? It can't just be this. I'm not happy. There's something unfulfilled. And then he's going to have that breakdown moment. And he's going to struggle. It's going to cause a lot of people to look at him strangely. He's going to change a lot. And it's going to be so helpful. And we feel like he's just going to be talking more of like lighter things. No politics. He's going to stop talking about politics. He's going to just be like, you know what? Life's too short. Let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about what we can do to free ourselves from negative mindsets. And yeah, we feel like he's going to back away from the people that he was with before. You saw a female. A female came up. A female came up. Her team was connecting with her, right? Like the session happened, and then they were already in her ear. She was sensing it. She's sensitive. She's a sensitive, empathic, but held herself, protected herself with a huge wall. Scared. She's looking at the fear now. She knows it. Knows that was blocking her. She's actually working on it now. Her team is helping her. She'll release it soon. She's doing a good job already. And we see her falling in love soon. Love. That was blocking her. She couldn't like get close to someone, it feels like. Love. That's going to change her entire life very soon.
That's exciting.
It's going to change her. We see her moving away, not like leaving the politics arena. It's like these people are breaking away. They're going to be breaking away, all of them, and focusing on lighter conversation. We see her just laughing a lot more, happy. They're looking for the others. Some are sitting. They're not step. They're not. They're not. I feel it's symbolic. Some of our heads are lowered. They don't want us to see them. Quiet.
How did they experience that session where their conscious mind was brought in to be held accountable?
It's like they got that feeling, like a profound feeling of, oh, how do we say this? It's like a feeling of they know what they're doing is not right, like a guilt, but not guilt. It's more than that. It's almost like how do we say this? It's like a epiphany is a good word. Epiphany. So it's almost like this racing feeling and thought attached to it of, oh gosh, like I can't do this anymore. Like, this isn't what I want. This isn't me. I can't do this anymore. It doesn't feel right. I meant to do something else. I meant to do more. It's like all these like all rolled into one. It's so it feels so layered and textured and like stop them in their tracks. Like, ooh. Yeah, like an epiphany.
Well, very cool. We are very glad for that. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so glad to have been of service of that. That was a very epic session, and I thank all who helped and supported us with that, because we're very looking forward to seeing these big influences implement their epiphanies.
We want to add the ones who are looking down. We see one person actually looking straight at us. Yeah, this person is like, nah, I'm good. I'm fine. That person doesn't care about changing. Like they're like, nah, I'm fine. We see that one. We're looking around. The other ones are, so we get the sense that they felt the same epiphany where it like shocked them, like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing something wrong. And they're kind of scared. They're lowering their heads. They're kind of scared.
What is the one doing whose parents came in to firmly guide her?
She doesn't want to look at us. She's scared. She's also lowering her head. It's like that feeling of, uh-oh, I know I'm doing something wrong. And I feel like higher powers are like, no, like she knows they know that she knows. And she's like, uh-oh. It's like a child that does something naughty. You know, they're just like lowering their eyes, lowering their heads, like, oh, they're looking at us. Uh-oh, they are. Uh-oh, keep your head down.
Well, thank you, subconscious. So can you just confirm that they now have all deeper and actual connections to their teams, and they are more activated?
Oh yeah, they can feel it. That's why they're nervous.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to say, but I'm glad for them to be able to have this activation, because their followers deserve to get higher integrity information. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
And thank you for the collectives for letting us know that this needed to occur. Of course, we are always willing to be of service and use our free will to be able to support those who can and be willing to step up for humanity at this very important time. Which leads us to the next question about the free will on New Earth. What is the difference with the free will on New Earth, please?
Mm. Hmm. Freedom to choose what you want to do. You have free will to create and manifest whatever you want. That is, it's like with the vibration so high, you are like, you would only want to create and manifest at that vibration. So positive things like you wouldn't want to create something like you would automatically just stay within that vibration. So things that would manifest from your thought process would naturally be in alignment. So it'd be all like positive and fun. It's fun. And it's like they don't want me to know very much about that at this time.
Okay, and subconscious, do you have free will?
In 5D?
What realm, what dimension do you reside at, subconscious?
9th.
And so do you have free will in the 9th?
Yes.
Is there any difference between our free will and your free will?
Yes, your free will is interesting because you are able to. It's like because we have a higher perspective, we wouldn't want to destroy anything. We don't see the point. Whereas when you're free will in 3D, your minds are so different. Sometimes
we're sort of oblivious to things, aren't we?
Sometimes people like to destroy in 3D. It's just different. It's different. Very different.
Don't see the consequences of actions.
People do know the consequences of their actions. They do. They know when they do it, but it's like they don't care if they destroy. They don't care if they hurt. They don't care if they cause pain because of the density in 3D is such that it allows it. 9th dimension, we love to create, not destroy.
Well, I like that. I can't wait to be in the 9th dimension myself. That sounds like fun. Okay, we don't need to brag about it, subconscious. Thanks. Okay, thank you. And so Sally would like to know, how long will she be on the New Earth, please?
There's no can you ask it in a different way because we don't have time? Could you ask it that human way?
Of course. What will Sally be doing on the New Earth in terms of her life contract? Does she have to stay to complete all of the lessons in the 5th dimension, or can she choose shorter events and activities and then exit?
Yeah. Yes. Shorter activities and events and then exit. Of course.
Okay. It seems like I'm going to speak for her, that she's probably quite interested in what's next. And so she was sort of wondering, does she have to master the fifth dimension, or has she chosen for herself a little quick stay over before she gets bored? And then what is she doing after the new earth?
Hmm. Quick is a hard word to say because what does quick mean there? We're trying to figure out how do we calculate the time there for her in human terms. Let's see. We do see that she stays for some time because she likes it. It's just so fun and enjoyable and relaxing. We don't see her wanting to master it though. She loves it, and that's enough for her, like to just experience things there, but not need to master it. She does want to explore other planets because we feel like she's been on Earth a long, long time and hasn't really seen a lot besides Earth.
That was one of her questions, subconscious. Has she had any other physical lifetimes off Earth?
She's only been on Earth.
An Earth virgin.
That's why she's so close to Gaia. That's why she loves Gaia so much and can connect with her so much. She's been there for so long.
So this is truly her home. So this is why she gets to experience the new Earth and has a destination to fulfill that.
Yes, and that was why she wanted to help Gaia when she was leaving transition. She wanted to be there to comfort her.
Mm. She does want to understand about a dream she had 3 years ago where she felt she was on heaven. Now she is wondering, with the information you have been providing with her to her in sessions, was that actually in fact New Earth?
Hmm. uh, she's laughing because it does feel like heaven. It's funny because, yeah, like she dreamed like 3 years ago about dancing. They were all like dancing to like music in the air or something. It was like all over. Like the flowers were dancing, the trees were like swaying, the people were dancing down a lane. Grass was everywhere. And there was like many people, so many people, and everyone was so connected. Everyone felt like family, and yet like they were all connected, like literally connected, but then separate. It looked human. It looked, you could say, normal. And it felt so uplifting. She actually was really sad when she woke up. She wanted to stay there. Everything was just dancing. There was like music and in the air. And I think they were all singing. And I think that they were all singing and they were singing the same song. And the flowers were singing with them and the trees were singing with them. It was like one, it was all like wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's New Earth. And she dreamed about it 3 years ago. And it was like she tapped into a future event. She was really high vibration. Like at that point, like she was super high vibration. What actually lowered her down from that really high vibration was going back to college. That was something that she actually regarded because it really lowered her down. She was so high, like so high that it like freaked people out. They looked at her like she was like an alien. And because they were feeling it off her, it was just like oof, energies. And yeah, she experienced it in a dream.
Was it purposeful for her to go back to college and lower her vibration?
She actually asked for it because she felt like she couldn't reach 3D people anymore. And she wanted to connect with people.
Very brave.
Yeah, she wanted to connect because she could tell that it was not, it was nice. It was extremely nice, but she wanted to lower herself so she could actually make friendships and experience relationships here more.
And would that mean that she would be able to be more of service?
Yeah, it was a little hard for her at first because it was causing her sadness.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand that. Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, and so then, uh, so interesting. I'm just trying to think what else. We're also wondering if there is, we'd like all the collectives to come back for this one, please. Is there any off-planet or any on-planet controlling systems that are negatively impacting people?
Sorry, we laugh because we see the moon.
The moon?
We don't know why.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, is the moon, what is that moon up to? Why is it controlling people?
It's controlling people, their minds. Hmm. We almost think that wasn't the original moon.
Mm-hmm.
That was not the original moon. This is something different. It's not even really a moon. What is it? What is it? Control station?
We have heard it is like a satellite.
Huh. Yeah, it's not a moon. It's not like a moon. It's not an organic moon. It was moved here. It's like it's like um like observing us. It's like a camera, like a big brother. This is weird. Um Interesting. Controlling, controlling, control, watching. us. Watching this.
And so how is the moon observing and watching us? What's really going on there?
The collective is attached to the moon. Using it to try to keep control of the human mind, and also getting like updates energetically of like where the collective or where the population is like at vibrationally wise. This is hard to understand.
Subconscious, is this something that you were aware of prior?
This has been ongoing, yes. The vehicle is trying to understand what we're showing her. And she's taken aback by this information. She's trying to decipher the visuals we're giving her. We feel yeah, we feel the moon. We've known this, but she has not. This is new to her.
We have heard this before in sessions, and I'm aware she hasn't listened to all the sessions because it almost is an impossible feat for humans to listen to all the sessions we have shared. So thank you, subconscious. I also know when we are clients, when we get such big information like that, where we are not used to hearing this, our consciousness comes into worry that we are suddenly making up nonsense. Subconscious, are you making up nonsense for her to worry about?
No, this is all truth.
Well, I know that, but I'm just wanting her to be reassured that all is well. We have heard this before. So thank you. It will be great confirmation for her to realize again the profound connections that we have with high dimensional beings during these blessing sessions that we're so lucky to have. So thank you, subconscious. So what the actual heck? Well, can we stop this moon stuff? Can we use our free will to stop it? Because we actually would love to not have humanity be impacted in a negative way. How can we sort this out today?
We can block it. We can create a block. We could do that. That would be the easiest way. Like a barrier between Earth and the moon.
Subconscious, why have you not been able to do that before?
Has anyone ever asked?
I feel like we may have with one session, but that was with a different collective.
We do not recall anyone asking us.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, subconscious. Yes, please. May we please have the moon be blocked from the earth when it is doing negativity, impacting on people, humanity, any animals, anything. We would like this to immediately stop, and actually can, since time is not a thing, are you able to have backdated it if that's possible? I'm really wanting to find out everything I can get my free will to ask for this.
Bhakti, could you say that in a different way? Bhakti?
Yes. Could we have blocked it when it started and always block it so it never could have occurred?
Oh. Go backward in time. Let's see. Are we allowed to do this? We will ask.
Thank you.
Can we do this? Can we go backward in time and prevent that from discussing?
Has it ever been an advantage point for humanity to be negatively impacted by this?
That's why we're discussing it. That's why we're going back and forth. What about the growth? What about the impact?
Could we have the imprinted memory of the growth, but be removed negatively from it?
Can they do that? We're asking? We're talking to the other collectives. We're trying to reach an agreement here.
If you say pretty please, that usually helps.
Okay, we will allow negativity to go, but the growth must continue in other ways.
Yes, well, then that will help. Because how was it controlling and impacting humanity and all?
It was affecting the mind. The mind. Rational thoughts, fear. We just see it like kind of like making like a regular peaceful person just start to react just like irrationally. And it's like the waves crashing, but in their minds, it's just like unleashing like a strange chaos. We can allow that negativity to go because it shouldn't have happened like that. It really shouldn't have been allowed.
What collective or collectives are responsible for it?
Anunnaki. We see reptilian. I'm not sure it's both.
Okay, and so since we have got such a good relationship with them now and respect their collectives more than ever before, we appreciate them having agreed that this could be stopped and the impact stopped and the healing and the results from it in any which way, which is to empower humanity and improve humanity, we would be ever so grateful.
We are looking at the collectives. They all nod in agreement. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I knew this was going to be an important session, and now I can see even more so how this is. So thank you. We did also would like more. We have a request, please, for those nurses and doctors to see and be accountable for noticing that the lung pressure on their clients who are, in quotation marks, suffering from the virus, to be aware and notice that the lung pressure is so impactful on the lungs, it is causing them to hemorrhage, and that is actually the cause of the exit points. While we respect and understand life exit points and contracts, we would still like those who should be professional to have an epiphany and realize what is going on. Are we able to do that with much love and without the aggression that I feel that I have asking this?
Yes. We really, really are thankful this is being asked. Yes.
Thank you. We would love all of the medical professionals to have epiphanies in all which ways, to be able to see the agenda that is not helping humanity, which is actually disempowering humanity in all aspects. May they awaken to their responsibilities to help humanity. May they be able to be critical thinkers and question all things.
Yes, we are actually getting a visual. The collectives rushing to the spirit teams rushing to the individual. Epiphanies will be done.
Because so many people trust the medical system.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So then, subconscious and all the collectives, we were wanting to understand a little bit more about waiting for people to be healed from their traumas to then introduce the impact of the laser event, which we believe then would create more trauma. Why is there the wait still for them to be healed from their trauma to then be able to brace themselves for this future event?
The wait is because this session had to occur because we are going to start sending much epiphanies to many, and they have to go through the muck. It takes 3 weeks to 2 months. So we're waiting for them and all others who are hearing this message, who are listening in, who are going to also receive epiphanies. And it's like a this session is very, very impactful because we see just like light bulb moments for many starting now, because it will need 3 to 2 months to work your traumatic past events. We want them to clear away what is no longer serving them. They need time, of course, to do that. That way they'll be a clear vessel. So when events do occur that are extremely impactful and are going to be difficult, they're going to be able to handle those emotions more because they're not going to be bogged down. They're going to be empowered. And then not only that, but they have the knowledge of how to do inner work and then release it. So they'll be able to actually help people because they've just experienced how to do it. So it's like they become the teacher.
Love it. Thank you so much. Okay, and then we would like to without Sally feeling the density of old Earth, we would like to understand why she was in the car alone when she was seeing the supermarket and she saw men and she got scared. Is this trauma from another lifetime coming in? Why does she feel scared when she sees men on old Earth?
She was she's she was in the car alone to grab stuff from the store, and she got nervous because the men, she just doesn't feel like there's any kind of like protection for her, physically wise at that point, and doesn't know motives of those men. They could be wanting to just harm, assault, and she didn't really feel very protected. She didn't want to get into a situation she couldn't get out of. We're trying to see why she was alone. She wants to protect her dad. She doesn't want him to go to this. She doesn't want him to go to the grocery store with her because he's older and she doesn't want him to get hurt by others. Like, she's so protective of him in that sense. And she felt like she could do it by herself. And she wants to wait for the men to leave so she can just run in real quick and run right out. She was worried that they were going to grab her, and she doesn't want to be grabbed and assaulted.
Mm-hmm. The subconscious, is that part of her old Earth experience, to be grabbed and assaulted?
She wants to prevent it from happening. I feel like we see her kicking and fighting off men. It's like they're trying to, it's like more than one. And she's trying to attack them back because she wants to hurt them so she can run. She wants to run, kicking really hard towards their faces. It's strange because she's on the ground and she's kicking as hard as she can and she's aiming at the nose. And she's trying to break the nose. And I feel like there's like 3 or 4 of them. But it's almost like 2 are watching and laughing because her arms are free and her legs are free. But it's like she feels threatened by 2 of them, 3 of them. It's really weird. We don't feel her being assaulted. It's almost like they were 1 or 2 of them were going to try, but her reaction was so aggressive. It was like they backed off.
Okay, many thoughts. Can she prepare herself with, say, some pepper spray or some other thing that will deter anyone from wanting to play with her in that manner?
She wants a gun.
Subconscious is that, I mean, I understand that's her culture in terms of being an American. Bless Americans for their love of guns. Is this wise for her? Would this give her security and safety, or would this antagonize?
Mm, it was like it's almost like she would feel more safe with a gun. Even she wouldn't want to use it, but just to have it to show if they were trying to attack her, just to pull it out would make her feel so much better. We don't feel the pepper spray or a taser would do much to sway the men. She could have it unloaded and just keep it as like a prop because she would feel so much more empowered that way.
Mm-hmm. Subconscious, what about giving her some protection so she can be invisible to those who have another harmful agenda to her? May she be able to go unseen as she is going raiding for supermarket supplies in the old earth?
We can cloak her. Like she's not even there, in and out. We can cloak her, and she can also dress dress unassumingly, and that can help too. Quiet, quick. Don't just quiet, quick. Cloaking her. Yes, we can protect her from that.
Thank you so much. And will you be able to guide her constantly as she is experiencing the old earth experience?
Yes. Yes, we can. She is very connected and will call on us for much help and guidance. And we love that about her. She has much faith in us, much trust. So the connection is stronger that way. The more faith you have, the stronger you will be. If you feel the guidance, she's always felt the guidance. She's always accepted it, which is perfect. Just that faith is just so important, so strong. And yes, that is good. We will help. We will help. We want to also say now that we want to cloak all on old earth, men, women, and children who do not need to be assaulted this way. We don't want them to be assaulted this way.
Well, thank you. That is good to know. Indeed, it would just add too much trauma to it, but I understand. We were wondering, with those people who just want to hide in homes, how are they going to be able to make new connections and be able to rely on strangers and trust strangers, which is what I got a sense of the significance of the old earth. One of them.
We see it as neighbors. So the ones who are closer to each other will naturally start gravitating to one another because they're going to be very confused and scared. And so like your neighborhood, your street, the street next to you, those people are going to all kind of gather and they're going to talk. And the ones who have a different agenda are going to be, it's going to be so obvious. The ones who are wanting to wreak havoc and harm, they're going to do their own thing and they're going to not want to talk. They're going to want to just do other things. And so we will see neighbors reaching out to neighbors, streets reaching out to people around their streets, coming together, talking, discussing how to stay safe, how to take care of one another, watch each other's backs, um, congregating. So it's like groups now. Mm-mm. Goes by so streets, neighbors. That's how it starts. Trying to understand what happens with how does it get bigger though? You almost feel like they start to strategize together, and then they how do they do this? It's like some might walk down the next street to see if anybody is willing to talk, like they stand out and out of this on the street, and they call out and ask in the houses if anyone needs support. We are forming groups and we are taking care of each other. And if you are afraid and alone, we are here. Can you talk to us? So they're like on the street. They're like not trying to go to the door or anything, but they're trying to reach out to those in their homes because people are very silent and quiet. They're afraid. They don't want to be seen. So if someone walks around and just talks, you can feel it. If someone's good, if it's like you almost think that they're gonna bring people with them, like so that it looks like okay, yeah, they're really trying to help, like a woman and a child, like to show them like, look, we're trying to help people. We're not trying to harm. We're not trying to take advantage of you. We're not trying to break in your house. Yeah, so it's like it starts that way, word of mouth.
I would imagine people just would want to be hugged at that point with each other and just be reassured that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to get coaxed out of their house first because we're seeing like older people are very scared, very, very fragile, and they feel so vulnerable. And the ones who are like by themselves are gonna be the hardest to coax out because they're gonna be terrified. They're not gonna know what to do. And if we have like the woman and a child and just like a very unassuming man, we can try and reassure him that way, like it's okay, we're here to help, we want to help you.
So it's quite touching. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so they would be doing that regularly just to reassure people that there is others alive and all
Mhm.
is well. There is community. There is companionship.
Yeah, we see it as very like people don't gather into like a building, like we don't see that at all. We see more like very close neighbors and streets amongst each other, just making sure everyone has something supporting them. It's like walking distance wise, like people don't want to drive. It's they don't want to drive far. They don't want to go far. Um, yes, like it's just their house is where it's like their normal is their house, and they feel more protected that way. And we're wondering because Sally was wondering this about apartment buildings and the people in them. We see similar situations reaching out to each other, apartment buildings. on the same floor, coming together and talking and crying. Yeah.
Do you get a sense that there is internet and power?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Is there the internet still working? Is there power still working?
Um, we feel like, okay, so the person, so they are showing us the TV. It is on. This isn't going to be for the entire United States, though. We're getting the feeling. Some places won't have power. The news, they have the news on. They have the news on, and they're showing on the news looting. Yeah, it's like we're seeing crime on the news. They're showing like crime, like looting, people starting fires on purpose.
It sounds like the news is just as inspiring as it is today.
Yeah, it's showing it. Feels like we can't really get a sense of how far into old Earth that is, but we don't think it's like it's more in the beginning, we feel like. Because the newscaster is working, and we feel like over time people are just not going to want to go like they don't want to go. Why would you go to work? You want to go to work, everything would just stop.
Do you get a sense of anything else happening to the United States of America apart from the laser? Any big natural events?
Earthquakes. We see earthquakes, fires. Again, we don't see any huge land masses being like destroyed. Like we don't see anything like falling off of the United States. Like that makes sense. Like more of earthquakes, open. How do we say this? Like how like when there's an earthquake and then like it opens like a sinkhole and like a big crack. We see that. We could see that, but fires. Yeah, not at this time. We don't see any like land masses breaking off into the ocean. We don't see that. And the people are there.
That's great news. And so, it's very interesting. Okay, very, very, very cool. To be able to have preparation is why I'm celebrating. So thank you very much for that. Okay, and so without saying the date and the month, Sally was given a sense of the laser happening. Is that more the projected timeline now?
Yes. Yes, very early, that timeline. It's possible it could be a few days earlier. It's possible. It can't happen much longer than that, though. Like, it can't go on. It can't happen later than that. Like, there's like about we feel like a 10-day option of that happening. And depending on the human collective, they can actually cause it to happen a little sooner within that 10-day frame, or around the time that she was sensing.
What's the significance of that time?
It's almost like we can't like wait any longer. It has to happen because old Earth can't. It's like pushing everything. So like old Earth can't last much longer than a certain time either, and it needs to be experienced. And it has to happen because we want this to be done, and we have collectively decided, all of us, that we want this to be done. And we did give ourselves that's why we're doing this session. We need to speed it up, and we're glad to now. We're happy to help now. We wanted them to do it themselves, but now that the time is starting to get really crunched and we're getting to the end, the finish line, now we're allowing more assistance because people just aren't doing it as fast as we had hoped. So now this is why we're actually supporting more, allowing to do these healings, epiphanies more, because it's crunch time and we need it done now. This has become a very short time frame, and we don't want people on old Earth much longer than a certain amount of time because it won't help. It'll just get more yucky and dense, and we don't want that. We want them to experience it and then hopefully learn their contracts within that time frame if they can.
Fantastic. I really appreciate all the information and clarification and confirmation, so thank you. And since you're so kind enough to be able to help us with these epiphanies, I would love all of the collectives to encourage and provide profound epiphanies to all of the lawyers who should be stepping up to the truth, and also all of the military. I would love all of the professionals actually who are in their jobs, who should be servicing humanity and protecting humanity, to really have profound epiphanies, to support each other, to have the highest intentions for good.
Yes, we feel like many know the truth and they don't, but then they don't do anything about it. Like, they'll grumble amongst each other, but they don't do anything. So this is much needed. Thank you.
Or hopefully that the epiphanies that you give them, subconsciouses and collectives, inspire them to step up and be able to give them the courage and the bravery and the motivation to really make an impact.
Yes, yes. Very much needed. Yes. Because we feel like they know. It's just, come on, like, get that bravery, get that epiphany, stand up.
Mm.
Yes, we'll send that now.
Thank you so much. And we also feel that we know that many people know that they should be responsible for their inner work, but it's choices that they are choosing not to sort of step up and. But hopefully everyone can have more empowerment in their own special, unique roles and services and careers and influences to be able to have a stronger moral compass. I would love that so much.
Mhm. We can help with that. We can talk to their the spirit teams. Well, yes, just push them more towards knowing right versus wrong, and with that moral compass, and helping them choose the right.
I know that self-love is very important and it is fundamental to be able to empower oneself moving forward. I'm wondering if for those people who haven't been of service to others, if their moral compass can be more considerate for others over their own personal egos, desires, and needs. Would that help them also or not?
Mhm. Yes, yes. The ego, people sometimes will allow the ego to take over too much control to where they cannot be reached by their spiritual teams. So we can ask for the spiritual teams to ask ask the individual to let go of the ego and allow their spiritual teams to help guide them with, yes, doing more service to others, and release the power that the ego has on them, because they're giving the ego the power.
Mm, yeah, incredible. Is there anything else we can do to help humanity and the collectives and anyone and anything?
Mm. We want to send love to everyone right now. It's needed. Everyone.
Mhm, absolutely. Would that help if we sent profound love, so much love that it heals your inner childhood traumas, so much love that it empowers you to stand up as an adult, so much love that you can have profound compassion to others and yourself?
Yes. that'd be that'd be just beyond perfect. Yes.
Well, I love that. I love that so much. Is there any final messages for us today?
We are glad. We are glad for this session. Um, we actually we're guiding you. You wanted a session quickly, and we wanted this also quickly. Um, thank you. The collectives were ready. Sally could feel them at work today. They were gathering. They were ready to be here. And they thank you so much for the different sessions that have started with helping with different collectives, and the individuals that were putting too much influence on others. It's been in the wrong direction. They're so glad that we stepped up, and that you and Aaron provided that. Um, and they appreciate that we're doing this now, and we're asking for more help, because they're ready to help and they want to help, and they're glad.
Well, I'm so beyond appreciative of the people that you have provided in my life to support this work and to support me, because I feel so grateful.
Yes, yes. Um, it's this was I guess you could say already planned. These people just show up in your life at this moment. This is not an accident. This is not a coincidence. Um, when when things like this become very impactful, and you're really feeling that calling, that service is just getting more and more like dire, you need people around you, and they need you. You guys are all helping each other. All four of you women are helping each other more than you would have even you wouldn't have even imagined this a few months ago, to have so much support. Um, but it's uh, you're doing each other a service for each other, and so like it's it's a back and forth, and it actually causes you all to open up and have more confidence in helping even more, uh, because you're feeling more love, more support.
Yeah, it's very profound. Thank you so much. All of the collectives, my best attempt of loving you from my 3D body. Um, so much appreciation for all of the collectives who have supported us so lovingly and so diligently with all this information. We honor you so much for helping those who are truly stuck and need service. And thank you so much for knowing their life contracts and giving them the most appropriate support at this very critical time for humanity. And we appreciate that you will not impact anyone's free will in the honor of their life contracts. And we so just love all of the support that you've been able to give us throughout all of these sessions. It humbles me beyond words, and I am just so grateful to be of service.
We are happy we are here. We are they're clapping again.
We like jazz hands, actually, not to judge.
It's like they all now they're standing up and they're clapping and they're looking at you. That's nice. That's very sweet. Very sweet.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the information you've provided for us today.